So today we're just going to be having talk a bit about how to actually get started. We've talked a lot about different investment strategies, whether it's stocks, funds, crypto, commodities. We've talked a lot about that, but we haven't really talked about how to actually begin getting our money into something and how to save up money. Some of you may be in the position that you don't really have any money to spend. Obviously not Luke and Chris, as they just let us know, but this may be a useful talk for some of you who don't. So let's look first at The Rock and think why he's a somewhat of a hero of our group. And it's his $7 net worth in 1995 going to $320 million here in 2020. He's had a meteoric rise in terms of his personal fortune. And we'd all like to emulate that, but maybe we don't want to emulate it by taking a bunch of steroids and looking like this. I certainly don't want to be getting involved with these meatheads in America who bang their heads together for a living. I don't want to fight guys like this wearing a Speedo, or do this to John Cena, or even get choked up by John Cena. So I won't be following in The Rock's footsteps. In fact, you may be like me and you may be thinking something like The Rock was probably thinking here. He wishes he would just have saved up and invested his money. So how can we do that? Well, you might be in this position where you haven't got any money to spend, and you could be thinking any one of these things. You haven't got any money, you don't know where to start, you don't know how to buy stocks and shares. We'll be going into some of those things today. So the first thing to do is to save up enough money. And to do that, we first need to set a goal. The reason we need to set a goal is in the modern world, there are so many ways to spend money, whether it's eating out, going to concerts, traveling, buying luxury items, or even gambling at the casino. There are many ways to divert ourselves, to spend our money in ways that are enjoyable, that are fun, that are great experiences. There's nothing wrong with these. But it makes saving that much harder because it's so tempting to do all of these great things, and putting your money away, it doesn't really engage the mind. It's difficult to do because of that. So what we do when we set a goal is not only do we come up with a figure, a number that we want to reach, but we actually come up with a reason why, something that we want to buy. So it might be something like a deposit for a house, or it could just be a figure that we want to reach that will make us financially stable. Now, when we do this, we make saving easier to engage with. We've got our goal in mind. When we think about saving versus spending, we're thinking about the house rather than just putting the money away. So to set a goal is the first step to aiding the suppression of the temptation to spend all our money. Once we've done that, we need to look at budgeting. There's really no way around this. We have to do this to see where our money's going. You might be like Luke, and you might find out that, like he did a couple of years ago, that you're spending £70 a week on alcohol, and it's actually surpassing your food spending, and maybe that's some way you could cut back. So that's what we do when we budget. We look at where we're spending, we look at where all our money goes, and we figure out which part of that we actually do without. And that's where we work up. Do we want to take part in those experiences, or do we want to save up £60 a month on alcohol so that we can put our money away for a house? Once we've budgeted and figured out where our money's going, the way we want to approach saving is to pay ourselves first. Now, what this means is, at the moment, we have this sort of system where we receive our salary and we pay our bills, we pay our landlord, we pay our energy supplier, and we might pay Colonel Sanders for some fried chicken. And then at the end of the month, we pay ourselves. And when we do this, we put ourselves on the back foot. It's difficult to be successful with this because, as I say, all the temptation is there to spend that money constantly. And so we're paying ourselves last. We're transferring into our savings account last. And if you try to go that way, you'll find that, in fact, you're not going to have very much success. So what we want to do is actually flip it and pay ourselves first. So an example would be, as soon as your salary comes in, transferring the money out of your kind of day-to-day account and into a savings account where you don't touch that money, it doesn't come back out, and then you've paid yourself first. You haven't paid your landlord, you haven't paid Colonel Sanders, you pay yourself first, and then that is a much easier way to reach your saving goals and to successfully save enough money to invest. This isn't new advice. This is 100-year-old advice from George Clayson, who wrote a great book on personal finance called The Richest Man in Babylon. And it has proven to be the most sage financial advice in the last century. Paying yourself first is one of the most important things you can do to successfully save. So once you've put all these steps into action and you've saved up enough money to get going, next you need to think about opening a tax-free brokerage account. Now, this is not a complicated thing. This is not for only Wall Street masters like Zach here. It's easy and it will get you great results. So let's go into it. Tax-free brokerage account is a scheme subsidized by the government to allow tax-free investment allowances for individual citizens to encourage people to invest and take care of their own future so they won't be reliant on state pensions. In the UK, we have the example of an individual savings account or an ISA. And there's these 4 types, and you can save up to £20,000 every year, and all the gains on that money will be tax-free for life. So we're just going to break it down and look at 2 examples, the stocks and shares ISA and the lifetime ISA, which will be most important to us investors. So let's look at the pros and cons. Stocks and shares ISA, or a Roth IRA for our American equivalent, has these pros. You pay no tax on your earnings. So what this really means is that once you've put your £20,000 in every single year, or whatever you can afford to save, you've paid tax on that money before you put it in, and then you pay no tax for the rest of your life. Whatever gains you make, whether it's 5% a year, 10% a year, whether you've put it in a mutual fund or followed a lead path strategy to make gains, you don't have to pay capital gains tax. Now, capital gains tax is normally 20%, so we're really talking about a significant sum of money. You can easily just save 20% of your money by opening one of these accounts. Ramming the point home here, you don't have to pay tax when your investments go up. This is an absolute win. If you do this in a normal brokerage account that's not tax-free, you're going to pay 20%, and it's just a no-brainer to do this. The other pro is that you can take your money anytime you want. So the money is constantly available to you to move to different accounts or whatever you need. The cons? There are no cons. It's tax-free. Please do this. Okay, let's look at the lifetime ISA now. The lifetime ISA is even better. Up to £4,000 a year, the government matches 25% of your contribution. That means they'll pay you £1,000 a year to put your own money in your own bank account, as long as it's this one. This is a no-brainer. If we were offered an investment opportunity which had a 100% guarantee of a return of 25%, we would take it every time. That's what this is. The government will give you free money. And again, the gains will be tax-free for your whole life. This is an absolute no-brainer. The only con for this one is that we can only draw the money at the age of 60 at retirement, or for a deposit for a flat or a house. So not that we should really be investing with money that we might need access to, but that's really the case with this lifetime ISA. We can't withdraw it early, so this needs to be put away for a long-term play for a house or for your retirement. But it's still free money. So overall, we need to consider what balance we want to strike. Do we want to go on lots of concerts and go on lots of nice holidays and enjoy our money now? Or do we want to put it away and secure our future and secure our stability? There's nothing wrong with choosing some of the left side. We should try to enjoy our lives. Money's not everything. And holidays and concerts and other things, they're great things to do. Whatever your way of enjoying your life and spending your money is, that's fine. But you need to have a think about what kind of balance you want to strike, how much you want to save for later versus what you want to save now. Once you've done that, you can set your goals, pay yourself first, and open an ISA. So we'd like to hear from you. What are you guys doing at the moment? Are you hoping to save up? Are you struggling to save up? Have you tried any of these methods? Not that you've heard them before now necessarily. Does anyone have a budget, for example?
Hi there. Thank you so much for watching our video. I hope you really enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comment box, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you can learn more about our channel. Thank you very much, and see you next time.